What's going on, YouTube? This is Jim, and I decided that very similar to what I did when I was largely into Destiny, I thought I would begin a Halo community weekly blog, I guess you can call it, which basically just goes over what Bravo has posted on the official Halo Waypoint website with some thoughts and some opinions interjected into it. I had a lot of fun doing this for Destiny. I know Deej usually put out a community update kind of Friday and Saturday, and Bravo follows a very similar pattern, although he's not as consistent. Sometimes the blogs come out Friday afternoon, sometimes they come out Friday night, sometimes they don't come out at all. When they do, though, I will be on top of it. I do check the Halo Waypoint site daily, and when he posts his official Beers for Bravo blog, I will talk about it. Now, this one is 19 hours ago, so I could probably be a little bit faster in terms of updating it, but hey, it's an inaugural run, so bear with me. He first starts off talking about the Halo World Championship, which I did a video on about a week ago now, I guess is when the tournament wrapped up, and that was a ton of fun to watch. I was really hooked on it. It looks like they're standing up their own blog internal to Halo, kind of discussing what is going on with the teams, what the status of the rosters are, and that sort of thing. There's really no official place for this, so I hope that they keep this blog alive and well because it's kind of challenging. I do follow a lot of my favorite pro players via Twitch and Twitter, so I kind of know what they're up to, and I see them commenting on other teams, so they're definitely more plugged into that scene than I am. And although esports is starting to rise and ESPN and Yahoo and some other sites are dedicating an entire web page and cast to them, you really start to get in the weeds when you talk about a single first-person shooter, and then of that, only the pro teams associated with that. So I hope that the official blog by Halo stays alive and well and gives us more information on some of our favorite players, because trust me, after these big tournaments, teams will change often. It's no similar than the off-season of any major sport where players are traded. You know, it's not like in the terms of like free agency and salary caps or anything like that. Not yet, at least. But you're starting to see a lot more players kind of, shift around. And, well, we realized we needed a player that had this skill set, so we're going to try to recruit them. So teams will rise and fall, and that'll be interesting to watch. So keep an eye out for that blog. Ghost of Meridian is going to be the next official expansion name for Halo. They were pretty consistent on when they launched these, but it seems anybody's guess at this point. Based on what I've seen and based on what they've showed us so far, we still have a little bit ways to go. They usually have a live blog or live Twitch feed, rather, where they'll have the crew actually sit down and play through the game, and then somewhere around then, within the day or two, usually that expansion goes live. We haven't seen that. That has not even been announced yet. So I'm not exactly sure when that's going to happen. Probably the mid-April would be my best guess. But it's called Ghost of Meridian, and there's a bunch of new stuff coming for it. And as we deep dive farther into that and get more information, we'll talk about it. This week, they're teasing us with some of the new requisitions that are available. Some of the bigger items that they have highlighted on the site. They also have a picture where most of it is grayed out except for a few items. Tartarus Gavel, if you guys remember him from I think he was in Halo 2 and in Halo 3, the big brute dude. His official gravity hammer is going to be an available item in the game as like a legendary weapon, which I think is really cool. We also get some new skins with the Scorpion and the Mantis and the Warthog and probably some other vehicles, and it's called the Hannibal set. So if you guys remember, we have had other sets in the past, like Arctic Woodlands, and I can't even remember the names of them. UNSC's probably, was it Onyx or something, Oryx? I don't even know. It really doesn't matter. All it is a different skin on your vehicle that usually has some sort of hardened armor to it. If there was more distinction between what they did, let's say a vehicle went faster or shot faster or had a slower reload speed but more powerful weapons, or could take 4 people or 5 people in it as opposed to 2 or 3, whatever it happens to be, I think I would care a little bit more about the variations. Other than that, it just really seems to be eye candy. So if I pointed this Scorpion out to you and I said, hey guys, check out the Scorpion, and you go, oh, okay, it's a Scorpion, would you know that that is the Hannibal Scorpion as opposed to some of the other Scorpions? Probably not. So take that with a grain of salt. That's something that I feel this game can improve on. They do an amazing job of allowing you to customize your character and customize your guns and skins and everything. But at the end of the day, it's largely the same, except for these legendary weapons. And nothing else, I'd like to see that at least potentially brought into the vehicles, but we'll see. There's some other new armor sets that are coming out, some new emblems that are coming out, and that's going to be kind of a teaser. Probably next week we'll get to see a little bit more. There are some new game modes coming. There is a new map that is coming, but they haven't really talked about it a whole lot yet. They said that this will be including, this Ghost of Meridian will not only bring with it new maps, vehicles, weapons, weapon skins, armor, helmets, emblems, and more, but game updates such as Forge improvements, multiplayer adjustments to both Warzone and Arena, sandbox and weapons updates such as Spartan laser tuning, UI updates, and more. Teams across the studios are working on it, and we'll get you more information as we have it. So it's going to be another one of these giant updates that's touching everything. So when we get some more intel, we'll talk about it. In the immediate term, though, in the interim, they did something that I'm really, really happy about. They started doing this on some of the breakout maps about 2 months ago, where they actually allowed Forge creators to be rolled into the playlist. And now we have gotten that for Big Team Battle and for Griffball. So there is a slew of new maps. Now, I'm going to talk about the Big Team Battle maps first. There's a fancy video on the Forge Hub that kind of lays out all the different maps. There's Altar, which is a reimagining of Halo 3's Sand Trap, if you guys remember that map. Boulevard from ODST. Eagle Square, which is a brand new, some guy created this idea. Fracture, which is another dreamt up idea, Scavenger, and Viking, which is Halo 3's Valhalla remake. So you have a mix of some of the old nostalgia maps that we got to grind out on, and some of the brand new maps that we've never seen before. I've played Big Team Battle now about 8 or 9 times. I've only seen 4 or 5 of these new maps. I have not seen them all yet, but Eagle Square is actually a lot of fun. It's a very, very compartmentalized corridor-based map, where the middle has a lot of these little tricky corridors. There's a big ring around the outside where you could take some warthogs and that sort of thing and drive around and have fun. But I do like this map a lot. It's very close quarters. And I also have to say I'm a really big fan of Viking, because I think Valhalla is one of my favorite maps. And, I don't really remember the maps by name, but when I went back and saw what it was, I was like, oh, yeah, I really like that map. That was a really good one. So that's really cool that they're doing that. That is injected into the current playlist. There's no announcement yet as opposed to regarding if these will be voted on and become part of the permanent playlist for the following month. I haven't seen any information on that yet. But if it follows what they did with the Battlegrounds, I'm sure you'll get that as well. Griffball has a slew of new maps as well, which is cool, but there's not really a lot to do in Griffball in terms of map variety, so this is just more eye candy. But you have Bloodsport, you have Red vs. Blue 2003, Crow's Court, Griff Temple, Frontier, High Charity, Sandwich, The Arbiter's Court, Underpass. And some people have done some really, really cool things. Somebody made a little pixel art Arbiter. Too much Heroes of the Storm, guys. I am sorry. Not Abathur, the Arbiter, which is really kind of neat. So I like that the creativity with Forge allows players to make some really cool maps. I like that the tool set's there for the people who are really into that to bring us back some of these maps. And kudos to 343 for actually putting them in them standard playlist. I do play a lot with my clan mates on Thursday night, and when we play together, we do go through and pick some random custom maps to play just in a small, tight-knit group of people. But it's fun that they're on the whole playlist. It kind of takes the pressure off the existing on-disc set of maps that came out to give everybody a little bit more variety and everybody a little bit more excitement, and it changes things up. And if they want to take a play from Heroes of the Storm book and take some of the less popular maps and put them on ice and pull them off rotation for a while in exchange for some of these new Forge maps, I'd be okay with that too. Not playing a game like Fathom for a week or 2 or a month or something. We're not going to put Fathom on the rotation anymore, but we'll bring it back later. I think it would be a lot of fun, and I think it would always kind of hype up the variety of what's happening next. We get so good at these maps. We have our own running lines. We know where the grenades are. We know where the timers are. And that is fun in of itself. It is repetitious, but it is still fun because no two games are ever the same. But it is nice to go on a map and have no idea where the hell anything is and slowly just kind of start to uncover some of the nooks and crannies that are in there. One thing I will say on all of these new maps that I have seen so far is that nobody makes maps like 343. Of course they don't, because they're professional and they're paid to do this. But the 343 maps have so many layers in them in terms of different routes to jump, different shortcuts, and different kind of grenade lines, sight lines, that sort of thing, that you really miss out on the Forge maps. That's why I feel like Forge maps will never completely replace what 343 puts out there, but it's still a great complement and it's still a ton of fun. And I'm looking forward to the next iteration to see what people come up with next. And that, my friends, is everything that was talked about for this week. For the Halo community update. I will do another one of these videos in about a week or so when I hear more stuff. If they do a live stream, I will probably do a summary of that. So I'm going to do my best to stay more active within the Halo community as a broadcaster / content provider, because I really do like the game and I really am active on the forums, and I really may not be the best player in the world, but I am very familiar with what's happening because I read so much about it, and I'm very excited about the lore. I had debated doing a side blog about the cannon fodder. There's a lot of really deep lore into that, but it's a lot to take in, and I think a lot of people probably just don't care. But if that's not the case and you want to hear me talk about it, I am very well read up on that this week, and I can give you guys a little bit of lore at the end. If that's something you're interested in, leave me a comment below and let me know, and I'll do my best to maybe incorporate it in future videos. And that's all I have. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Go play Halo, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.